Hey, it's Joe. I'm actually going to show you how to do a water pump drive belt on a 2.5 liter V6 in a Ford Contour. They're really overlooked. They're also in Cougars and other stuff, but the front wheel drive Cougars. This here is a 2000 model. What you're going to need, the water pump belt is actually right under here, inside here. So what you're going to do is take out these three 7mm bolts. 7. I use my DeWalt impact driver, but what you got is, you know, a 1/4 inch ratchet and a 7mm. It works too. So I'm going to take off bolts here. I like to set them right there, just to get them out of the way. Also, you might want to let the engine cool down a little bit. Right now, this one's really hot. They just drove it all day. Okay, now that the bolts are removed, this little clip goes on the outer side in there. Slide that down out of the way. You're going to lift up the shield over this hose there, just kind of move it around, side to the side. You're kind of done with that. The next, here's your drive belt. I don't know if you can see, this one's pretty cracked out. Yeah, but basically there's a tensioner right here, pulleys off the back of the cam, and down there's your water pump, if you can see it. So what you're going to do, take, crowbar or something, kind of catch it underneath this rib here, and just slide that forward. I just slipped off of it. Get the tensioner all the way loose, so there's a lot of slack. Move it off the upper pulley. Getting a phone call here if you can hear that. So here's my nice and cracked up belt there. It's supposed to be solid. Alright. Replace the belt. Just kind of get it around that bottom pulley. Sorry, I'm not the best camera holder when you gotta do this with two hands. Apologize. Okay. You see, not quite around that bottom pulley. Tensioner's out. So what you're gonna do is take it off the upper pulley and get it around the bottom one. I have to set the camera down for just a second. Okay, again, I have the belt on there now, but if you look down, make sure you're always on the pulley. Don't start the car and think the pulley is just gonna flat out tell you with serpentine bolts. Don't do that. Get it on right. So if you're this far, you're pretty much handy enough to do it. The belt gets pretty tight if it's off, and you need to work the tensioner into place. Again, I'm going to put the camera down. Alright. Sorry, it takes two hands to do it. As you see now, the new belt is on. And just look down. Make sure you're on the pulley straight. Not going to come flying off there and snap the new belt. So make sure you look at these. They're not very expensive. This one cost me $6. You know, and it's a Motorcraft belt. If you're working at a Ford, put Motorcraft on it. Seriously, I'm a Ford mechanic, and it's just, don't use anything else unless you can't afford it. But plugs, wires, stuff like that, Motorcraft. Particular one for this one is Ford number F5RZ8620A with a JK3274. Pretty basic, but make sure you don't overlook these. Kind of the same setup on a 3.0. And the new Escapes and Tauruses with the 24 valves and such. So, what you're going to do now, take your plastic shield, get it kind of out of the way of that hose, otherwise you won't be able to get it on. Slide your vacuum hose over it, underneath it there, and get it in place. What I like to do, it's always just a smart decision, start throwing them in by hand. Make sure that your hose here is above. That little clamp is above the cover, otherwise it won't go on there right. Take your 7mm. Just slowly put it in. And that is all. It's back together just how it's supposed to be. Alright, hope this was helpful. Any questions, you can feel free to comment.